Oh, so we're almost there.
Nearly there.
Yeah.
Nearly there.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you had your Christmas traditions and all of those kind of things. We used to have a really awesome kind of made up carol.
Okay.
That we used to sing, Christmas song or whatever. I thought it just seemed appropriate to sing it now, if I may. I mean, make sure I'm in good voice and all that kind of thing. It kind of goes kind of like. A banana in the cellar of sin. Will I ever again throw my pen in a bin?
What's that?
That's not it.
That's the weirdest carol I've ever heard.
You're telling me? I just sang it.
Okay. Things getting weird again.
Yeah.
Things getting weird again.
Yeah. I'd like to go to my safe space now.
I mean, there's a safe space?
One would hope. But I've got this really weird thing in my head now.
What?
Something called the Trenties.
Nah.
Oh. Welcome back.
Howdy ho.
And first of all, Merry Christmas.
Indeed. Merry Christmas to you all.
Yes, this is the last of our shows for December 2021, where we will be looking at Act 3 of Wonderful, and then at the end of it, wrapping up with deciding which of our 2 new films will be crowned our maybe movie of the month. I've got some. I think I've got an idea which way I'm leaning. I don't know about you.
Really haven't got a clue.
But obviously that could all change. Possibly. Just before we get into that, I will just remind everybody, and I will do as I promised to do that over the past 2 episodes. I'd do this at the beginning of the show. Just a quick reminder, especially for those of you who have joined the channel over the past couple of months, what we do is we do 5 months of this, and then we take a month off, because otherwise we would be dead.
Something like that.
Yeah. Spiritually, emotionally, in all the ways that count. So, yes, after today's show, the next episode of Maybe Movies will be at the beginning of February. There will be stuff coming out on the channel throughout January. We've got a few things that we're looking at, and we will let you know more about that. Do you mind? Thank you. We'll let you know more about that as we go. As I mentioned before, best place to keep abreast of what's happening with the channel is either at the Xadrum Facebook page or preferably at the Maybe Movies Facebook page. There'll be links to both in the description below. One final thing before we get into this. Because it is Christmas Eve, we're not going to do a shout out for any one particular supporter or channel or friend. We're going to do a shout out for all of you. Especially for everyone who has come to find us and stick with us throughout 2021. We wouldn't still be doing it if it wasn't for you. So,
indeed. Thank
you very, very much. We wish you all the best Christmas that it can possibly be under the circumstances, and a very, very happy New Year as well.
Merry Christmas, guys.
And rest. No, we can't rest because we've got an Act 3 to look at.
An Act 3. Okay.
So, if you were here on Wednesday, then you'll know, or if you weren't here on Wednesday, then you won't know. We've managed to battle our way through Act 2 by replacing some of the scenes from the Act 2 of Scrooged with parallels that fit George Bailey's character.
Mm-hmm.
The culmination is that he's just found an unconscious Elliott Loudermilk underneath the building and has gone off to try and find him help, and has found himself back on the set of his Christmas extravaganza. And that's the catalyst for waking Loudermilk up to then go and... Where does he get the shotgun from?
Pawn shop?
But he just gave blood to give some dollars and then they took his money.
Oh!
So he's got no money to buy it with.
Oh gosh, that's a very good point. I don't know.
Because the guy nicked his coat as well, so...
God, I don't know. I really don't know.
No. I thought of a way that he could have raised some money, but no.
Okay, no. Okay, no. Yeah, right. So George is, slipping and sliding about on the set and causing a bit of chaos, having a bit of a freak out.
Mm-hmm.
But is quickly shuffled off into the elevator and back to his office.
Yes, this is what I was going to say about at the end of last episode. That comment that he says to the guy who's dressed up as guest of Christmas yet to come.
Yeah.
Who's in the elevator.
Yeah.
And he says, oh yeah, he's going to be a big star one day. And I was like, it's Hollywood. Who played him? And it wasn't. It wasn't anybody who went on to become a big star.
Oh, that would have been funny. And the show starts. That happens on rails.
Mm-hmm. I never noticed before how much... how late 80s this film is. There's quite a bit of product placement in it.
Oh, okay.
Including the most random one of all. And it's... I know we haven't quite got there yet in what we're doing here, but it's right at the end of the film when he's taken over the studio.
Uh-huh.
And there's just a cutaway of one of the women who's sat at a monitor and she's looking at what's happening on screen. And on the screens in front of her, and there's two screens, it just says Black & Decker. For just long enough for you to see it, and then it disappears.
I never noticed.
And if you don't believe me, go and have a look. It's at 1 hour, 30 minutes and 5 seconds.
Oh, right.
But there's other really weird stuff. It's like there's...
like tab and stuff like that.
There's tab, but also in the control room, right slap bang in the centre of the frame is a folder that just says hip hop on it. And then there's another shot somewhere, again in the control room, there's a banner on the wall behind them that says Free South Africa.
Oh, right, okay, okay.
All of this stuff which I never noticed before.
No.
Anyway, sorry, that's an aside. So yes, he goes back up to his office, has his, whatever it is, gin and tab or whatever it is.
Yes, and then Elliott returns.
So we're saying that's pretty much going to go the same way? Do you think George might try and stop him? Or is he too strung out by what's been happening?
I don't know. I think George would be forced to run. You know, there's a shotgun wielding lunatic in the building, but obviously, you know, there would be his whole spiel of like, you know, I lost my job. My wife left me and took my little baby daughter with her. And ever since then, I've been blind, stinking drunk. And then, of course, George is like, I didn't know.
I think his first reaction would be, "You're okay."
Oh yes,
because you saw him under the thing. You're okay. Oh, you're fine. And then he pulls out the gun. Yeah, or he obviously sees the gun and he's like, "Oh." But yeah, I like it. And so it's still the same. He falls into the elevator, and then there's
there's the Ghost of Christmas Future.
I think the scene with Calvin would be the same.
Yes,
I
I
couldn't
think so.
see that being any different.
It's predicated on Grace's circumstances, which we've already seen, so... Because she could never afford to have him treated when he was little.
Yes. Of course.
We don't have the Claire scene.
Well, I was going to say it would be Mary happy with this other guy.
Oh, yes. Of course it would. Of course it would.
And probably, you know, all the kids running around calling him Daddy.
Oh.
All of those little things as well.
Oh, yeah. Little dagger in the heart there.
Yeah. No, this is it's the third one that I had a bit of a struggle with.
What, the funeral?
Yeah, I didn't have a struggle with it. It's, I mean, I always find that with Scrooged as well. It's the weakest one of those scenes because it's the one that doesn't hold up as much because especially to anyone who knows the story of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
everything else is pertinent because they've made it personal to him. I kind of feel weird saying this because how can death not be personal to you?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It
feels lacking. It doesn't have the kind of weight that you'd want in the denouement of this sequence.
Like in the original Scrooge, when everybody's celebrating because he's dead, because their debts are cleared and things like that, it doesn't have that weight to it.
No.
So what are you thinking? Have you got an alternative in your head?
I don't know. I mean, I was trying to say, should it actually be Harry in the grave? Because of something that he could have done, but then that would mean inserting it earlier in the film. Just before we started filming, I was trying to think, could we do something with something more analogous to the scene from A Christmas Carol where he sees the people selling off his goods? But again, I don't know if that would work, if that would have the same weight or not.
It's a tough one.
It just feels it needed something more. And I'm...
Yeah. Oh, what would you do, folks? What would you do? I don't know. I mean, unless we can come up with something better, we're kind of stuck with it.
Okay, I don't think then it's about replacing that scene. It's about the dressing of that scene.
The context, yeah.
Yeah, that's what needs to we need to add something to it or take something away from it. I mean, it may be that literally no one turns up for all of his good deeds. He's forgotten about.
For all of his good intentions.
Yes.
He's forgotten about it. Not that anybody ever says that out loud, so the distinction's moot in the film. Yeah, nobody.
At one point earlier on, when I was thinking about it, I did think, is the burial that we see not his? Is it Loudermilk's being buried in a prison burial yard after having killed him? But then I was like, I don't know.
Oh, they could.
I'm just wondering if that blurs the message at all.
Well, no, because we've made Loudermilk his problem. We gave him more of a connection to Loudermilk because of the interacting him with in the Christmas past.
Yeah. Carry on. I'm listening.
So maybe it is Loudermilk's funeral, and it's a pauper's funeral. That's it. It would be Loudermilk's funeral, and all the people have turned up for him. And then the mist swirls or whatever, and then it's his funeral, and there's no one there.
Of course it is. Yes. I think that's one each. I think.
Oh, yeah. I would kind of nearly broke us there for a second.
Cheers.
I'll take my second star.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
then it's kind of going to run on rails.
So he's addressed to the people outside.
Elliott gets rehired. They interrupt the performance.
He calls out to Mary, "Come down here, bring the kids."
Yes, the whole family.
Bring the whole family. Yeah, come in. Yeah. Do we? Yeah, no, the Baileys. Yeah, probably Harry and everyone will turn up as well.
Yes, because it's about his family and his loved ones and everything. So it's not just Claire; it's everyone.
Do we need to then just put in a little thing of George putting this potential love interest in his place? Just to close that avenue off altogether. In place of the SS Minnow. It could be something like that. We don't have to go into specifics if we can't think of anything, but just something like that so we know that his future with Mary is assured.
All right, okay. I'd have him there, and then I'd have like one of the dancers give him the side eye or something like that.
Okay.
You know, just gently implied. No, he's fine.
Yeah, like it. And
maybe the bit with the mistletoe. Like
right.
He does the thing with the mistletoe, and then he says no, and that's the bit when he invites everybody, and so there would be another mistletoe moment.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like he'd be lurking in the corner, not realising he's standing under a sprig of mistletoe, and one of the dancers just walks straight up to him.
And that's it, yep.
Yeah.
Like it. And that brings us to the end.
Pretty much, yeah. That third act it runs on rails, actually. It runs, even with all the problems.
Well, as I said, I thought if we can iron out the problems in Act 2, Act 3 is just going to sail through.
Yeah.
So, we just need to... Well, we're going to take a moment to mull over what we've done this month. Did you say you're on 2?
I'm on 2, yes.
So I think we're with you first, because I'm pretty sure... I'm on 4.
Right.
So we're with you first.
See, the truth is these are such perfect movies in my eyes. It's difficult to pick one when neither of them are really going to be as good as the original is anyway. I think on the balance of things, I would vote for Wonderful because George Bailey is just a wonderful character and I enjoy him. I would just enjoy watching Jimmy Stewart do that. Whereas I'm just not sure quite what you'd be getting from It's a Scrooge Life. I'm not. That's my vote.
Okay.
I'm going to vote for Wonderful.
It's a difficult one. I know what you're saying, and yes, I do. I agree. Watching George Bailey in this situation and watching Jimmy Stewart do that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
My problem with it is I struggle more with the suspension of disbelief that he would be put in a situation where it requires the intervention of spiritual figures.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Whereas Frank Cross learning a slightly different but equally important message about the spirit of Christmas and about the spirit of, or about the spirit of humanity that he learns in It's a Scrooge Life.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably feel more invested in that, so I think I'm actually going to go with It's a Scrooge Life on this one.
Okay, well, you've got the deciding vote.
The deciding vote when there's three of us. If there's only two of us, then if we have a hung jury, as it were,
Oh, right.
we don't have a maybe movie. If it's one vote each, I mean, I don't think we've ever had this situation before.
No, we've always been able to argue one or each of us round to the other side. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to stick with what.
That's fair enough. Okay,
I understand. I understand your reasons for it, but just for me, because of the Jimmy Stewart thing.
So I tell you what we should do. We should do something we haven't done before. We should ask you.
Yes, dear viewers, please tell us, which movie should we pick for this month? Please decide, because we can't.
No. So what I'm going to do is I will put up the one that I generally find is the best. Is I will put up a poll on our Twitter page. Again, there'll be a link to it in the description below. We will run it through until... We'll keep it running through till early January. Because obviously people are busy, they've got holiday stuff.
Of course.
So let us know who you would prefer to see, or which of these two movies would you prefer to see being our December maybe movie. And we will add our votes to those, so our votes still count. And then at the pitch meeting at the beginning of February, we will announce who is our maybe movie from the last one that we've done.
Seems the only way to solve it.
Brilliant. So you have homework. I'm assuming this is the point where we get paused.
Oh God, no, okay.
It's happened every time when we've taken a break. No? Nothing's happening.
I'm still moving.
Mm-hmm. If we're not going to get paused, what are we going to do? For like 5.5 weeks?
Oh God.
Ba 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 ba.
Oh, so close!
Unlucky, huh?
Yay! Ah! Oh, twofer. Oh, come on. Ah, damn it. You win.
I thought it was a draw, wasn't it?
No, you got two.
I thought, you only got one, didn't you?
I only got one.
Okay. I'll run them up again. Rack them up.